According to a theory circulating among scholars of extraterrestrial phenomena, 3 different alien races are interested in conquering and controlling planet Earth, each with a specific set of skills and strategies. The first race is known for its advanced level of technology, possessing weapons and defense systems that far surpass human capabilities. The third, in turn, would have the capacity for mental manipulation, allowing them to influence human minds in a subtle and imperceptible way. For proponents of this theory, the combination of these abilities represents a potential risk to the sovereignty of humanity if these alien groups act in a coordinated manner. Stick around until the end to find out what these races are. Before I start the video, I ask you to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as there are new videos every day. 1. The Greys, one of the most well-known and debated alien races, are easily recognizable in abduction reports and sightings. They have an iconic appearance, often described as small, gray-skinned beings with large heads and huge black eyes. This image is familiar to many, as it is widely portrayed in popular culture, movies, and books about aliens. But behind this peculiar appearance, there are many theories about who the Greys really are and what their intentions are towards humanity. The Greys supposedly possess very advanced technology compared to ours, capable of performing feats that seem straight out of a science fiction movie. In some reports, they are described as carrying out experiments on humans, studying us as if we were an inferior species in order to better understand our behavior, our emotions, and especially our biology. According to some theories, the Greys seek to understand human genetics in order to explore ways of interacting with other species or even to perpetuate their own race, which is said to be facing survival challenges. These abductions, which are recurrently reported around the world, are, for many, the main evidence of the Greys' intentions. People who claim to have been taken by these beings often report traumatic experiences where they describe cold, brightly lit rooms, metal instruments, and the feeling of being watched. Many of them report that the Greys are able to communicate telepathically, sending thoughts directly into the minds of the abductees, which has a great psychological impact. This type of interaction generates a feeling of mental invasion, something that goes beyond the physical and causes deep fear among the victims. In addition to the experiments, some theories indicate that the Greys could be involved in a larger plan to conquer the Earth, but not by traditional military means, as imagined in alien invasion films. Instead, it is believed that they seek to exert psychological control over humans. The idea is that by influencing our minds and behavior, they could eventually become a dominant species on the planet without the need for direct confrontation. The concept of psychological control by the Greys is frightening. Imagine the possibility of an alien race capable of accessing our minds, influencing our thoughts, and perhaps even manipulating our emotions without us realizing it. This kind of subtle and almost invisible control would, in the view of some theorists, be a much more effective domination strategy than an open invasion. Instead of trying to subjugate us by force, they could influence our decisions, our systems of government, and even the way we understand the world around us. 2. The reptilians, unlike the Greys, are described as highly manipulative beings, endowed with a frightening appearance that mixes human and reptilian traits. With their scaly skin, reptilian eyes, and humanoid physical structure, these beings supposedly have a very clear objective: to dominate planet Earth, but in a more indirect and strategic way. As opposed to a physical invasion or visible attacks, it is believed that the reptilians are already infiltrated into the highest spheres of power, acting in the shadows to control human society from the inside out. The theory that reptilians are disguised among us is partly based on reports and sightings of public figures with behaviors and characteristics that, according to some, reveal their true identity. Proponents of this idea claim that politicians, leaders of large corporations, and even celebrities could be reptilians in disguise or under their control, shaping global politics and economic decisions for their own interests. This supposed control of the elite is seen as part of a larger plan to establish a new world order, where the reptilians would have total dominance, ruling humanity without it realizing their presence. According to the theory, the reptilians' influence spans several areas, including finance, media, and even entertainment. For believers, this influence is a form of mass manipulation, designed to condition people to accept norms and standards that benefit these hidden beings. In this way, instead of a direct attack, they create a society that gradually becomes more controlled, conformist, and disconnected from its true essence. This subtle and all-encompassing influence would allow them to mold our society according to their intentions, keeping the masses oblivious to the control being exercised. The reason for their discretion and use of manipulation rather than direct force is one of the most intriguing aspects about the reptilians. Many theorists believe that these beings value secrecy and subtlety as forms of control. Rather than reveal their true identity and risk revolt, they prefer humanity to continue living their lives believing they are in control. This form of psychological manipulation would allow the reptilians to operate with total freedom, accumulating power and influence without ever arousing suspicion among the majority of the population. Another strand of this theory is the idea that the reptilians possess metamorphosis abilities, or at least a technology that allows them to take on a human appearance. This ability would make it even easier for them to blend into society and reach positions of prominence, going unnoticed. In addition, according to theorists, these beings would be able to influence people mentally, creating a kind of suggestion field that would make them more convincing and charismatic, manipulating the thoughts and feelings of the humans around them. It is believed that this ability for mental manipulation and disguise is what makes the reptilians such a significant threat, as they can change the course of global events almost imperceptibly. Wars, economic crises, and even major public policy decisions could, according to theorists, be driven by this alien intelligence, which seeks to undermine humanity's freedom and autonomy in order to establish its own order. 3. The Nordics. The Nordics, unlike the Greys and reptilians, are often described as human-like beings, usually tall, fair-skinned, with blue or green eyes and blonde hair, an image reminiscent of the peoples of Northern Europe, which gave them the name Nordics. Many accounts describe them as benevolent and even protective beings, while others view them with suspicion, questioning their real intentions. This ambiguity generates a special fascination around the Norse, as they are seen as both possible allies and potential manipulators. One of the most striking characteristics of the Nordics is their apparent closeness to and interest in humanity. Unlike the Greys, who seem indifferent, and the reptilians, who would act in secret, the Nordics are often described as more approachable and even communicative with humans. In some accounts, they warn people about the future of humanity and the risks of environmental degradation, violence, and unbridled ambition. This genuine concern is what leads many to consider the Nordics as potential allies, or at least benevolent observers. However, there are also theories that suggest that this closeness may be a persuasion tactic. According to this line of thought, the Nordics, with their friendly appearance and protective behavior, may be seeking to gain human trust in order to achieve their own goals. By getting close and establishing a bond of trust, they would find it easier to influence people on a broad scale, directing society in ways that serve their own interests. Even if these interests are not entirely clear, the supposed ability of the Nordics to communicate telepathically is another impressive feature. They would be able to transmit thoughts and feelings directly into the human mind, creating a deep and unique connection with those who come into contact with them. This telepathic ability could be a powerful tool for gaining people's trust and respect, which, according to some theorists, could be a form of subtle manipulation. If they really possess this ability, they could influence human decisions and behavior almost imperceptibly. An additional theory suggests that the Nordics may play an important role in observing and monitoring humanity, possibly as intermediaries or vigilantes in the service of an intergalactic coalition of advanced civilizations. In this scenario, they would be on Earth to observe our development and intervene only when necessary, ensuring that humanity follows a path of peaceful and sustainable evolution. This theory, although positive, still leaves doubts about the extent to which the Nordics really respect our autonomy and free will, since their presence in itself would already be a form of interference. For those who see the Norse as protectors, the idea that they are here to guide humanity brings a sense of security, as if we had a kind of big brother in the universe, willing to guide us on our evolutionary path. However, even among supporters of this view, there is a fear that by becoming dependent on this protection or influence, humanity could lose its independence and ability to make its own decisions.